Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the All-American Savage Show podcast. I'm your host, John Burke, and this is my beautiful bearded husband, Josh. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fucking tired. I am really tired. I did not want to start my Monday out this way, but unfortunately...
Sick and tired.
I am sick and tired. So we're back on YouTube. My account apparently had the restriction lifted. So YouTube, for those that are watching right now, for the last week, I have been banned from YouTube. I couldn't post. I couldn't update on my community because we were talking about the Fauci ouchie, and it got labeled as medical misinformation, and they gave me a strike against my account that lasts until December, apparently. Apparently, you cannot discuss your opinion on the jab because if you do, they are therefore providing medical misinformation. Like, you're not even allowed to have an opinion anymore on social media, or at least on YouTube.
Can't even mention schmovid.
Can't even mention the schmovid, the plovid. You can't even say it. That's how draconian they've become now. Like, you cannot even discuss this. And that's what's sad about the state of affairs that we're in. And then you also know there's something going on when big tech is so in line with the government narrative that they are censoring left and right. Like, this is clear as day, ladies and gentlemen. I am by no means a conspiracy theorist. You know me. I've been preaching against like QAnon for a long time. There's a lot of stuff that I'm very speculative about. But there is no speculating anymore that big tech is in bed with the government. They are censored. Why would they need to censor? Why would you censor when it comes to the Fauci ouchie?
You know, people who don't align with their political beliefs at these companies, at Yahoo, at Google.
Yeah.
We got the Yahoo building across the street. But at all these other places to come out and do the right thing.
They're not going to.
More whistleblowers that, go to Project Veritas. There's got to be more than just a handful that are defecting.
This is the link to my new YouTube page where all these videos will be uploaded. I'm spamming it in the chat now. Go check out the new YouTube page. Excuse me. It's there. All the videos are being uploaded there. I'm going to discontinue uploading these podcasts to my current YouTube channel because I keep getting flagged. Again, that's the state of affairs that we're in right now. Is that you can't even have an opinion, ladies and gentlemen. And that's just wrong. It's just wrong at this point, and I'm over it. I know there's so many other Americans that are just over it. Like, I get banned on Facebook left and right.
I got banned on Nextdoor, just in my own neighborhood, for asking questions, for asking about, what are the long-term effects for children wearing masks? And you
can't do that.
So many Democrats get their panties in a bunch about it that they're like, just wear it. That's like asking what's the long-term effect of wearing pants. I'm like, is it?
Just bend the knee. Stop questioning authority and bend the knee.
Just put the mask on.
Put it on. Just wear it. We're actually live right now on the other YouTube page as well. So if you're watching on YouTube, come on over to the other page. Again, here's the link. You can catch the stream, the exact same setup on the new page. Go drop it a follow. Greatly appreciate it. Oh, my God. How was your weekend?
It was good. It's birthday weekend.
Oh, that's right. Your daughter.
My wife and my daughter.
Oh, that's right.
Their birthdays are like 2 days apart. So that's a lot of pressure. A lot of birthday pressure.
Well, that's cool. I mean, did you do anything special or did you just hang out?
I just went to dinner.
Just went to dinner? We're very boring people, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think people realize that. Like, we are insanely boring.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. All right, let's get into it. Here we go. And, by the way, warn me, if I start to discuss anything schmovid related, I got to pull that YouTube stream down because I don't want to get banned again. That way we can try and push more of the YouTube people over to the new page. But let's get into this. Ladies and gentlemen, all weekend, my inbox has been blowing up. Anytime something military-related comes up, naturally, a lot of people are coming into my DMs asking me my thoughts on something because I'm a loudmouth asshole, and that's what we do. This article comes from the Daily Mail. A transgender MMA fighter who used to be in the U.S. Army Special Forces reignites debate over trans women in sports with rear naked choke to seal the debut victory. Elena McLaughlin, 38, defeated opponent Celine Provost, 35, in second round of Combate Global Preliminaries Friday. No, I don't think this is UFC. No, I think you're right because we were talking about this prior, and I think Josh had a good point. Like, Dana White would never allow this.
Yeah, I don't
think he would. I just don't think he would. I don't know.
I think you might, if it was in the UFC, you might have some fighters that would just cross over just to fight that one transgender just to lay an ass whooping on him.
I'm telling you, and they'd be justified in doing so. The secondly open transgender MMA fighter in the U.S. has won her debut match, reigniting the debate over trans women in sports. Elena McLaughlin, 38, won her first professional fight in the Combate Global Prelims Friday against Celine Provost, ending the match with a rear naked choke 3 minutes and 32 seconds into the second round. McLaughlin from South Carolina began her transition in 2010 after spending 6 years in the United States Army Special Forces. Her victory prompted backlash from a number of people who said it was unfair for a trans woman to compete against a cisgendered athlete in the sport. I'm getting a lot of variations of the same nasty messages calling me a cheater, like I didn't just get beat for a round and a half. Y'all need to show Celine Provost some respect and take your concern trolling elsewhere. McLaughlin responded on Twitter, adding, transphobes are just making my block hand stronger. Now, in the picture, you can actually see the draw, or you can see the winning announcement with McLaughlin standing with clearly pink hair and a shirt that says End Trans Genocide.
I'm sorry, pink hair doesn't make you a woman.
No, it doesn't. And then trans genocide where, specifically in America? Like, where are we killing trans people? That's the one thing I would really like to know. Like, again, this is another Democrat liberal stratagem here, is that you create and fabricate this big evil monster. This big evil monster is like, oh, we're killing trans people. No, we're not. That's illegal. Like, we can't do that. That's murder. Now, other countries, absolutely, but you're not going to go protest those other countries. So, and let me first preface this piece right here with, I agree with transgender rights. If you want to chop your penis off and turn your Audi into an innie,
do it.
Do your thing. Don't care. Do I think you're fucking weird? Abso-fucking-lutely I do.
I think you'll regret it.
I think you will regret it. But regardless, it's your choice to do so. Now, where the line gets crossed for me is when you try and take this outlandish view that is not rooted in reality. I'm sorry, it's just not. And then you say that we should be accepting that you are an actual woman, a man turned woman or woman turned man. You say that we should be accepting and acknowledge that you are now a man turned woman, therefore you're a woman. No, that's not the case. People that are talking about like how this fight went down is like, well, he's on the same hormones as a woman, the same hormonic level. When you look at the anatomy, you look at the bone density, you look at structure, you look at all this. This plays major factors in this, and people don't realize that. And there's a simple fact of, the fact that when you go into this, you're supposed to be like somewhat weight the same, and I'm looking at this and they don't look like they weigh the same. He's clearly got way more muscle density. I don't understand how we sit here and we look at things like this and we accept this. Like we were accepting of this. Again, it's your right to do what you want, but then when that transitions into, no pun intended, that now you have to accept me competing in women's sports as a man. There was, what was that Swedish weightlifter, I think it was,
yeah.
And like he was like pulling up some serious weight. Yeah. I think he still lost though.
Did he?
I forget how I don't know. I could have that wrong, but even still, it's the premise of if you don't agree that they are now actually women, you're transphobic. That's not true at all. That's not the case whatsoever. Like, again, where does this come from? Well, I mean, I know where it came from in regards to like homophobia. Like people were very scared of like homosexuality. Like, oh my God, it's so. And then it became more normalized. But now they're doing the same thing with everything else out there. That if you disagree with it, you're therefore in fear of it.
Yeah.
So it's like, and he's wearing end trans genocide, and then he calls people that disagree with the decision to let him fight a woman being transphobic. That's called being rooted in reality. It has nothing to do with a phobia or a fear of. And there's a lot of freaking fighters out there that are commenting on these stories. A lot of blue check fighters on Instagram, like going after this dude. Like, you want to square off against the man.
Yeah.
Like they are threatening this guy. It's like they're beating the no pun intended. Like they are fucking hammering him.
I wouldn't be surprised if there were women fighters that just wouldn't fight him.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't either.
I mean,
if I'm a woman fighting a freaking ex-special forces dude, like hell no.
I know
It's mind-boggling to me.
It's dangerous.
It is.
It's dangerous.
She is the transphobes are just making my block hand stronger.
Okay.
Okay.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Why don't you go compete against men? Go compete against men. She's the second openly transgender athlete to fight MMA professionally in the U.S.
Openly?
Yeah. Following Fallon Fox, who made history in 2012 with her debut, who retired in 2014. I want to pick up the mantle that Fallon put down, she told Outsports. No, you just want to beat on women and make your way into an arena that's not the same as if you were fighting against men. It's just not. This is insanity. This is where we're at in our country, ladies and gentlemen. And you can clearly see the footage. Like, oh my God, like he bloodies her up bad. Like it's. And then you go look at this guy's before pictures, before the transition. He's a beast. He's a big motherfucker.
Oh yeah, he's yoked.
He's yoked. And then you look at the after pictures, and he does not make a very attractive woman at all. He like not even on deployment. Like even if he was deployed, like no, that would never, absolutely not. Right now, I'm following in Fallon's footsteps. I'm just another step along the way. It's my great hope there are more to follow behind me. Yes, more men that want to beat the shit out of women. Yes, absolutely. Great goal. This is where we're at in our country. You want to talk about like a country that is so privileged, that is so like you got like just everything is in your lap, that now you've got like Taliban taking over Afghanistan, women being literally whipped in the streets. You've got China murdering their own people. You got Russia sending these people off to the gulag. All this stuff. And in America, what are we arguing about? If a man can beat the shit out of a woman in a professional MMA fight. That's where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. That's when you know you got a damn good thing going on, and now we're gonna ruin it because we're letting the inmates run the asylum. That's all this is. Right now, following Fox was watching Friday's match. Ringside ESPN reported McLaughlin had been training for more than a year in preparation for the bout. She told the outlet it was scheduled originally for the August, but postponed after Provost tested positive for the coronavirus. McLaughlin-born Ryan cleared a hormone panel issued by Florida State Boxing Commission, but noted that it was a nightmare finding an opponent for the fight. I wonder why. Like, I wonder why. I have nothing but respect for Provost, she told ESPN. Many on social media, however, said McLaughlin's win was an example of an unfair push to include trans women in sports. Here's the thing. All you have to do is just create another division for trans people, to where if you're man turned woman, you're going to fight the very same thing, or vice versa. Or we could just stop pandering to the small percentile and trying to make everything revolve around them. I mean, it's a simplistic idea there. This is ridiculous, but, you know.
I think it's just going to come down to if anybody's going to fight him.
Yeah.
You know, if anybody wants to fight a transgender.
Yeah, and that's gonna turn into transphobia. It's like, oh, because you're transphobia. It's like, no, because these women are afraid of you.
Because if people are going to watch it, then they'll keep doing it.
Oh, absolutely.
But if nobody's going to watch it, then nobody's going to.
And you know, the sad thing is, that's a very alluring thing to watch because you want to see a man fight a woman. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that's going to be the draw. That's going to be the hook.
Not unless, I remember Ronda Rousey talking about when she was younger, she would fight dudes outside of, I don't know, convenience stores. They would bet, like, I bet she could beat you up for like $100. And they're like, no, she can't. And she would end up like submitting them or breaking their arm or something like that. So, but when you have another trained fighter against another trained fighter, then the odds are greatly in the favor of somebody who's
it goes down to technique, but then certainly strength is a factor. Yeah. Like I know when I did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for a while, the technique was the biggest thing you pushed for. Like you didn't go in there and try and strong arm your way into stuff. It was all about technique, fluidity, knowing your moves, knowing how to counter. But there is a certain degree of strength that is required in a sense for like, say like somebody's like getting you in the arm bar, like using like bicep strength. Sometimes you can at least muscle your way out of it, depending. I mean, it's all situational dependent. So to sit there and say discredit that like muscle and strength have no play in it is just, that's not true at all. Tonight, McLaughlin fought and beat a biological woman. What a shock. Elena McLaughlin transitioned 5 years ago, which means that she lived 33 years of her as a man, wrote combat sports podcaster Angel David Castro. MMA commenter Safe Bet MMA wrote on Twitter, I think people can identify with whatever they like, but I don't think this has a place in combat sports. And I fully agree. Yeah, y'all think this is okay and empowering to transgenders. I respect trans rights. However, this is fair. How is this fair? Seriously, wrote another commentator on Twitter. I respect trans rights all day, but this is an unfair advantage, posted another. Alternative headline, man cheats, posted Jessica O'Donnell, a writer for The Blaze. And the replies, I love how like ballsy people are finally starting to get now. They're coming out with this and not giving a shit about the leftist idea. Like, well, you're a transphobe. It's like, okay, whatever. Nobody cares anymore. Like, you've cried wolf so much, nobody's paying attention. But yeah, you can clearly see the before photos of this gentleman, and good Lord, like he's in shape. I mean, he's special forces. I mean, they're all in good shape for the most part. Elena McLaughlin transitioned 5 years ago, which means okay, these are just the headlines. Others in feminist circles regarded the bout as an example of abuse. Male violence against women as a public sport. No, oh my God, you know shit's getting bad, but even the feminists are like, this isn't right. It's like, you promoted this bullshit. Like, you wanted this. You wanted men more feminine, and then you got yourself an effeminate man-woman, and now it's abuse. Like, which is it? Which side of the railroad tracks do you want to be on? Because I'm confused.
I want to see what the ratings are, personally. Like, how many people tuned in to watch it?
Yeah.
If people are going to keep watching it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up to these people. If women want to fight, transgender, I mean, it's up to them whether they want to go in there and just get the shit kicked out of them. But, I mean, eventually, I think someone will get seriously hurt if you're not well-equipped enough to defend yourself.
I think it's gonna. I think the allure is there, though. I think it will draw maybe not the the best ratings, but it will draw ratings.
But even like Jake Paul fighting,
Yeah. That's out of hate. Like, people just want to see him get his ass whooped.
Yeah, but it's the same thing. I mean, they're not like great fighters, but you just want to watch it.
Yeah.
We just lost everything.
Fucking A. It's got to be an overload on the thing.
You think so?
Yeah, it's got to be. I don't know. It's came back on. Are we still going?
HDMI 3.
We'll see. It says the stream's still going. Maybe we just lost the. I don't know. Okay, we're still here. But no, Jake Paul and them, like, people. I mean, they're smart. If you really think about it, people want to see Jake Paul fight for him to get his ass whooped. That's what people want.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a market for it. There's people that are gonna. So why not keep doing it if you're making 10, 15, 30 million dollars, whatever they're making?
I'm just.
If there's a market for it, people are gonna watch it.
That's what's sad.
But if I had a daughter in jiu-jitsu was at that level high, I wouldn't want her to fight against another dude who was special forces, especially.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I mean, and, just wouldn't want it to happen. So
and then, of course, you get these leftists over here tweeting out in support of this, saying, "You're amazing. Don't let the hate get you down. Athletes like you make history. We'll look back at the way people are reacting to you one day the same way we look back at those who wanted to ban integrated sports." Those are not the same.
No, it's a different
those
level
are not the
of
same.
competing.
Yeah.
If you watch UFC fighters fighting, that's a very high level of competition going on. There's
Of course.
two men, same weight, going at it. I mean, there's a huge difference.
I just like how they try and conflate the two.
But if you want to do it, go ahead and do it. If a woman wants to fight them, I don't care. I'm not going to watch it. I think someone's going to get hurt.
I think, yeah, 100%. And it's always the same. This is coming from Aaron Pumpkin Spiced. God damn it. Why do people got to ruin my shit? Why do people got to ruin my shit? This is Aaron in the Morn, and says, she says, you're doing it. We're going to look back on this, and basically equates to integrated sports. Yes, because a man identifying as a woman to beat the shit out of a woman is the same as letting a black person compete with white people. That's exactly the same thing. That we're going to look back on it like the same kind of it's a false equivalency, and it's completely rooted in just I'm like at a loss right now. I'm really at a loss. It's a Monday morning,
Ignorance.
and this is the first thing I come into is like, motherfucker. Like, this is the stupidest shit I've ever. Ladies and gentlemen, like, just take a second and think, just for 1 second. Men are transitioning into women and fighting women. What fucking world do we live in? We live in insanity. This is insanity. And again, I believe in your right to do whatever, but this is just fucking, like, we are on the verge. America is falling. This is insanity. We've embraced insanity because the minimal percentile of America has now become thrust into the spotlight and saying everything has to revolve around this now. Jessica R. during another blue check on Twitter says, "You did amazing. They're just mad that sports aren't just for cis people." Yes, that's 100% it. That's exactly it.
Oh, right.
We're mad that a man beat the shit out of a woman that has nothing to do with it. Yeah, okay. It's just mind-boggling to me. Oh my God, congrats. I don't watch MMA, but I'm sure you did amazing. I support you so much and hope you don't take the horrible bigoted comments to heart. You're wonderful. Then trans flag, heart, rainbow flag. Even members in the LGBT or the LGB don't like the T.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of them do not like transgenders.
I'm just not involved in that community. I don't know a whole lot
It's
about
ridiculous.
it.
Oh my God, congrats. I don't watch MMA, but I pretty much know that if people disagree with you, you're a bigot. You're just such a bigot. You're a transphobe. Like, oh my God. I'm going to make a TikTok about this. I'm going to tell all my friends we're going to boycott anybody that doesn't watch this because you're just a bigot. Even though you deny science. Follow the science, bigot.
Two balls equals one man. That's what,
even one ball.
That's what the science.
It's so stupid. This is just ridiculous.
If you have ovaries, ipso facto, you're a woman. You got a couple balls.
You got some little
one
low-hanging
ball
fruit
even.
there, buddy. You're a dude.
You're a man.
Oh my God, congrats. You both did amazing out there. And then every single one of these women that are tweeting this, they look like liberals. They look ugly. Unfuckable.
Really?
I know, right?
No.
Weird.
I would have never have guessed that.
I should probably transition to a woman because then they would probably be attractive to me. Probably not. Even they're like hideous. They're hideous human beings. Like this is how they get. This is why they become activists, because they're so fucking ugly and unfuckable that they have to get attention somehow. They have to get validation. They have to get recognition because they never got it growing up. They never got it from their parents. Never got it from the school. So it's just one of those things. Or it was just basically like they like the attention of being slacktivists on social media. Oh my God, you're a bigot. You're just such a bigot. We're gonna march. We're gonna march for transphobia, bigotry. Shut up, Karen. Fucking weirdos. That's all this is. It's insanity. And I'm tired of pretending that it's not. Joker meme.
I won't do it.
Won't do it. Not gonna do it.
Not gonna happen.
I hope they do look back at history and say, hey, there were still some rational people that embraced sanity and not insanity for the sake of being inclusive and tolerance, or and tolerant. Excuse me.
How did they get a hold of the microphone so much? And spew such stuff.
Oh my God.
They said 2 balls equals 1 woman. What?
Yeah,
I mean, science at all.
If you look at it from like an outside perspective, like, wait a minute, they got men trying to be women and women trying to be men, and then saying there's numerous genders. Like, okay, so for those that are on Twitter, you can give me a follow at Sergeant Savage, but there's this page called Libs of TikTok, and if you've not seen this, it is the most eye cancer causing shit you've ever seen. Like, it's bad. Because what they do is they pull all the cringiest videos of Zoomers and millennials on TikTok that are natural liberals, and they post this shit. And you want to talk about the most insane shit you've ever heard. Like, nothing gets me more riled up in the morning than having some fucking stupid Zoomer that wants to sit there and lecture me on my bigoted views. Like, okay, so there's cisgender, there's trans, and then they try and explain the gender spectrum, and they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. They have no idea because they keep falling back like it's a social construct. It's a social construct so that we can segregate men from women. You have a penis and a vagina. We're already separate, but boy, do I love coming together. Penis. I mean, vagina. Son of a bitch. Oh my God. Okay. We're going to continue taking this roller coaster of insanity because right now, I saw this yesterday, but I didn't see the full effect of this. This is from Breitbart, and they come out with a story that says, put a stake in the heart of evil, in quotes, from Rose McGowan, who has now endorsed Larry Elder out of California, alleges Gavin Newsom's wife aided Harvey Weinstein.
You said they
tried to tell her not to go forward and to shut up.
Bribe her with some money.
Yeah. That's nuts to miss my phone. That's nuts. Like, people don't understand like how serious this is because essentially Rose McGowan, feminist overlord herself, the OG that was once connected at the waist with Alyssa Milano, that she comes out and she's saying this. Now, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. My position has not changed. You're going to have to show proof for me to believe that. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to show me proof for me to believe that. And I want to believe it, mainly because I hate the left. Now, what I just said is why Trump did so well. We are very quick to facts and logic, due process, because we hate we hate the opposing side and we want it to be true. So I'm not saying Rose is lying, but I can't sit there and say that I think that she's being honest. I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
But according to Democrats on the left, you got to believe all women.
According to Alyssa Milano, we got to believe all women. So let's see if Alyssa Milano comes out and supports this, which you know she won't. Hey, thanks for all the gifted subs over on Twitch. Appreciate that.
Let's hear the facts and evidence and show us the proof and all that stuff. But the Democrats on their side, they already gonna be forced into believe.
Still gonna do that facts thing. You just sit here and you just love watching them just cannibalize each other. And then you like the Democratic Party is the party of literal and fucking sanity. The amount of hypocrisy, the amount of double standards is just mind-boggling to me. Because it's like I'm waiting for Alyssa Milano to come out there and like believe all women. Yeah, and it's like, okay, well, your butt buddy in crime there, who used to be on your side. Okay, so the other part of it is Rose McGowan also, to me, serves as an example, ladies and gentlemen. She serves as an example. Someone that was so brainwashed by the left has now started pushing right. I was going to say transition right, but I think that joke's been beat to death.
Beat it with two hands. You beat it off with two hands.
Jesus. This show's just getting better. It's just getting so much better. Oh, but real quick before we move on, ladies and gentlemen, we've had the show back for roughly 2 weeks. We've had over 33,000 listens on the podcast. I want to say thank you. Thank you for doing that for us, and thank you for all the reviews on iTunes. If you go to the iTunes app and you download John Burke or the All American Savage Show, and you scroll down, you have the review stars. You leaving those reviews is helping us out so much because it bumps us up in the charts. The goal is I want this podcast. Fuck it, I'll just get into it. I'm never going to be accepted on the right. I will never be asked to go to these conventions. I'll never be asked to go speak at these places because I don't agree with a lot of what the GOP stands for. And I also don't agree with a lot of what the left stands for. So we've kind of isolated ourselves in this bubble. Now, this bubble is growing. More and more people are starting to wake up to the idea that you don't have to feed into either side's political narrative. You can think for yourself and then pick issue by issue which side you want to be on, if there is even a side. For me, it's the Constitution. We are creating our own way of getting our voices out there and being heard. We don't rely upon the GOP to make us mainstream. I will not bend the knee to the GOP narrative, and I won't do it for the left. It's just not going to happen. So we're doing this on our own. We're grassroots. We have no major investors. Nobody. It's just us. It's just me and Josh sitting here in the studio grinding this motherfucker out. So every time you do this, I want to say thank you. Thank you very much. Y'all are the ones that make this happen. But anyway, Rose McGowan. Rose McGowan is a representation of what's going on in America. Basically, people that were brainwashed into thinking according to how leftists think, as they get older, are starting to wake up and realize and understand they've been brainwashed. They realize what it's like Stockholm Syndrome almost. So Rose McGowan serves as a big example. Now, again, I don't agree with a lot of what she has to say. I don't really care for her personally because I look at her like, Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk look at Kanye West. It's kind of like they latched on to him. It's like, oh, we got a black celebrity. That's good. With me, it's just kind of like, yeah, that rocket's going to explode while you're trying to ride it because Kanye is unstable. Rose McGowan, same thing. Same fucking thing.
I don't
good
really
for
care.
her.
Like,
good for her.
Do your thing. Vote for who you want to vote for. If you want to come out and support somebody, then that's absolutely 100% you're right.
But I'm also saying this is the same woman that was like trying to ruin people's lives through accusations and all. And I'm not saying she's not lying, but I'm saying that she wasn't for evidence and proof at first. Like, and even now, I still have to see it. So, but this is coming from Breitbart. And again, put a stake in the heart of evil. Rose McGowan endorses Larry Elder. Again, for those that don't know, Larry Elder is running against Gavin Newsom. The recall vote is tomorrow and today, I think.
Is it?
Yeah. So right now, George Soros, Kamala Harris, a lot of them are dumping millions of dollars into Gavin Newsom's Rescue Me Fund. Like, keep me in office.
And it's strangely enough, some people have already voted that didn't know they voted.
We're going to get to that. That article's, ladies and gentlemen, you want to talk about violence erupting? Once the people feel like their vote no longer counts because it's a rigged election, it's game over. It's civil war. I know it. And I hate that it's going to come down to that. But if you try and rig the elections, what do they have to lose anymore?
I think there's more conservative people and libertarians in California than people actually
It's just the main cities, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's just the Democrats have the loudest megaphone to scream the loudest about
if you
their
think about
issues
it,
that
they own Hollywood, they own the MSM,
they
own all influential, they own big tech social media, they own the microphone. You're right. But the thing is, I think that we are the majority, but they have the means of getting the loud and censoring. It poses a very dangerous precedence, but actress and Me Too activist Rose McGowan officially endorsed Larry Elder for California governor on Sunday while alleging that Gavin Newsom's wife tried to bribe her into staying silent about convicted rapist Harvey Weinstein. Okay, now, whether she's right or wrong, now just hear me out before y'all pass judgment on this, which I'm pretty sure you're like me, you already have. It's like, yay, fuck that dude. Just the implications of Gavin Newsom or his wife being associated with Harvey Weinstein is so damaging. Not if it's true or not. Just the simple fact that she's saying this optic is going to spread. This is damaging. Weinstein, Epstein, all these dudes, anything remotely associated with it, you're done. Like, you are done. That's really bad. Really, 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 really bad. During her speech in Los Angeles on Sunday, McGowan detailed how the governor's wife, Jennifer Siebel Newsom, called her up in 2017 on behalf of former Harvey Weinstein attorney David Boies to ask, what would it take to make her happy enough to keep quiet about Weinstein. The phone call allegedly took place 6 months prior to the New York Times launching its bombshell report against the disgraced movie producer and Democratic Party donor. Now, again, I'm not saying this is true. I don't know. We have no proof. This is speculation, which does not serve as evidence. So keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. When I finally got on the phone with Jennifer Siebel Newsom for what I assume was about movie projects, imagine my surprise when she says, "What can Boyes Schiller law firm do to make you happy?" McGowan recalled. Again, I had no idea who that was, so I just said nothing and hung up on her. That was my last contact with her. Now again, we've seen lies in the past. What makes this true? Does it make it true because we want to believe it because we hate Gavin Newsom?
Or is it emails?
We've got to be careful with this. Do I think it's true? Probably. I probably do. But the other side, like, why is Rose McGowan talking to a governor's wife about movie deals? Well, I mean, California's a good, I guess. That stuff's so fucking, it's so just, oh my God. So much corruption. So much corruption. But you know what would fix this? Socialism. Giving them more power. Weinstein's, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Weinstein's former lawyer, David Boise, was later fired by the New York Times after he was alleged to have helped Weinstein hire the private spy companies Black Cube and Kroll to monitor his accusers. McGowan further recalled how Newsom's wife allegedly pretended to be a rape victim of Harvey Weinstein's to gain access to a private email group of Weinstein's rape victims. Last week, a spokesperson for Jennifer Siebel Newsom publicly denied all allegations. I had no idea about this. What is being alleged is a complete fabrication. It's disappointing, but not surprising to see political opponents launch these false attacks just days before the election. Their limited correspondence has been strictly as fellow survivors of sexual assault, and in Jennifer's former capacity leading the Representation Project, an organization that fights limiting gender stereotypes and norms. During her speech on Sunday, the Scream actress called out the Democratic Party as a whole, referring to the party as a cult. That brainwashes people into voting for them. Okay, well, as much as that tickles my pee-pee, both parties are guilty of that. Like, I'm sorry, both of them are. Like, yeah, let's not even pretend like the GOP isn't like that as well. Come on. I mean, come on. I just think that, by comparison, I think the Democratic Party is way worse. Don't get me wrong. Way fucking worse. Yeah. But if you honestly think the GOP is any better in regards to corruption and things being swept under the rug, you got another thing coming. You've got another fucking thing coming, ladies and gentlemen. We're in an age now where we're really starting to, like, loathe the two-party system. This is not a country or a state for everyone. This is a country for the few, McGowan said. I really wish I had better news. It gives me no pleasure to be the bearer of truth, but the truth is sometimes ugly. Why not change, she later asserted. Why not go big? Why not put a stake in the heart of evil? Because that's what this really is. This is good and this is evil. McGowan concluded her speech by officially endorsing Larry Elder, arguing that he will passionately fight for the betterment of California while shaking the state's political establishment to its very core. And that's probably why he's going to lose. That's probably exactly why he's going to lose. Now, I don't know a lot about Larry Elder. I don't know his politics. Somebody has said that he was actually pro-lockdowns, pro-mandates, and pro-vaccines. I don't know. I haven't looked into it.
I haven't either, but something's got to be better than
Gavin Newsom. Oh, absolutely.
It doesn't seem like they've ever had like a really good governor since, I don't know, Ronald Reagan.
It's interesting. It's like if you've been like your state's becoming a shithole.
Yeah.
Why not give it a chance to turn red and see what it can do?
Arnold Schwarzenegger was the governor.
Mm-hmm.
Unanimously, everybody hated him. Said he did a terrible job. So
but once he became like more liberal, then they love him. Now they love him. They love him.
There's just, they're terrible leaders. These are all people who are selfish and only concerned about furthering themselves, making their own goals come true.
My money is on Elder, she concluded. I really appreciate anybody watching or reading this to think differently, to be brave, to do something that's weird, like maybe voting Republican, even though it will still feel strange. At least she acknowledges that. I'd feel weird voting Democrat. I mean, then again, it would depend on the candidate. That's where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. So that leads into this next article that Josh just brought up. Excuse me. It basically starts out that California recall, a polling center tells some Republicans they already voted. Some self-identified Republicans claim they arrived at their polling center to cast their ballots in the California recall election, only to be told they had already voted. At El Camino Real Charter High School in Woodland Hills, some voters said they were told the computer showed them as having already voted. even though they had not, reported KTLA. Estelle Bender, 88, said poll workers informed her she and several friends of hers had already voted. She also allegedly witnessed another man arguing with a poll worker over the same issue. What happened today and how shocked you are? Or no, I'm sorry, what happened today and how shocked are you? A reporter asked Bender. 88. I bet I would be I want to see the consistencies in those that were told they already voted. Because if they're older, I'm betting Democrats are thinking they're too old, they're not going to go vote because they don't care. Mm-hmm. I want to see if there's any consistent, or if this was just a general ploy to do this. I went to El Camino High School to vote. Got there at 10:30, gave her this ballot. As she scanned, said, "You voted." And I said, "No, I haven't," Bender told KTLA. She said, "Something has been happening all morning," Bender furtherly alleged. The man next to me was arguing the same thing. Bender filled out a provisional ballot and left feeling really angry. I saw two women walking toward me as I left, and I said, "Don't be surprised if they tell you you've already voted," she said. "They've already done that. If I voted, how do I vote?" According to Bender, the people she knew affected by the issue were self-identified Republicans, which gave her cause for suspicion. I asked a couple of young women that I talked to, and I said, "Are you by any chance Republicans?" And she said, "Yes." And I said, "So am I," asked Bender. The Los Angeles County Registrar Recorder's Office said equipment was replaced at the polling center and that provisional ballots are a fail-safe option for these kinds of glitches. The voters who experienced this issue were offered and provided provisional ballots that I'm pretty sure they're putting right in the fucking shredder. This is, oh my God. No, you cannot ignore this. This is an investigate. You need to investigate this. Every single issue that and I forget who it was. Oh God, who did it? Right now, all over Twitter, they're saying if you are seeing anything suspicious at the polling, is the Blaze? I don't know who's doing it, but they're setting up a whistleblower program where it says if you see anything suspicious, report it now, and we will blast them for investigations. Mm-hmm. This is what needs to happen. And you want to talk about like bipartisan or nonpartisan observers? No such thing. No such thing. You're telling me in today's political climate, you're going to find someone to observe that doesn't have a dog in this fight? Like, no.
It's got to be
both. 100%.
Watching.
Both watching.
And that's what pisses me off about the 2020 election.
Or libertarian, because they don't care either way now. I hate you all equally. It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. I mean, I don't know.
Thing that just crop dusted me. Ugh.
I don't know. It's just really weird. I think it's James O'Keefe. Thank you, chat. Project Veritas. They're doing It's great. It's not just Nikki's in the chat. What is she saying? Hold on. Nikki's actually out of California and she spends a lot of time watching this. And it's not just okay. It's only the Republicans that are having the issue. I don't know. Nikki's out there. I think Nikki is voting too. Nikki, what do you see? I got live on the scene with Nikki. Republicans are looking for fraud, so they're quick to report it. But there have been issues overall with the system, which is still not a good thing. Oh God, yeah, I think it just cropped us bad. Oh my God, man. Whew. Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, but you can also understand why people are so speculative about this because they feel like they were cheated out of the 2020 election. I can understand that. Provisional ballots are regular ballots. Then once the eligibility of the voter is verified, they are processed and counted. After troubleshooting the issue, the equipment at the locations were replaced and voting continued. You just got to watch this stuff. You just got to watch it. Like Republican, even when Trump comes out and even says it too, like, it's going to be rigged, folks. It's like, man, it's a powder keg. It's a powder keg. Our phones keep going off. It's a powder keg. And then, did Biden speak on 9/11? I don't recall seeing him speak. I did see the viral video that
him and the kids with the Trump hats on.
If y'all haven't seen the photo, it's circulating on Instagram and Twitter. Biden is surrounded by children, and then like half of them are wearing like pro-Trump stuff. And it's like because here's the thing, like when you get put in that situation, you can't tell them no, because then you just come off like an asshole. It's like, no, I'm not taking pictures of you wearing that guy's stuff.
Trump
you
supporters.
Smell like Johnson & Johnson shampoo and vaccines. It's a deadly combination. Oh, God. I want her stem cells. I want to live forever. Oh, my God. And that's why we're never going on Fox.
He's so terrible. I mean, I didn't watch anything that he did. I heard.
I'd like to dip you in Alfredo sauce. That came from a YouTube comment. I love our audience. I fucking love y'all. Not all of y'all. Some of you are assholes, but whatever. Oh my God. It's so funny to watch though. It's so funny to watch. Well, CNN comes out with this new hit piece. It says, New York hospital paused baby deliveries after resignations over COVID-19 vaccine mandate. This is where it starts. So again, so real quick, an update on what the Biden administration is trying to push for the mandatory vaccinations. It's going to die. It's not going to happen. I really don't think it's going to happen. I know I was listening to Ben Shapiro's podcast. He was talking about that, basically what you and I were talking about. He kind of confirmed, which made me feel like we were on the right path. Yeah. But essentially, this is Biden's attempt at deflecting away from Afghanistan, the major debacle that's going to define his presidency with that, to the whole vaccine. Like, he wants to be the savior of America from COVID. And he's going to do everything he can to make that happen, regardless of whose rights it violates. So this is how he's trying to do it. This is why he's doing it. But he also knows that the Supreme Court is probably going to strike this down, because I think it will reach the Supreme Court.
I feel like the Democratic Party is just, and most of the Republicans do, are just, it's a big cash grab. Mm-hmm. So you have a $3.5 trillion porculus bill, and then all the money that you dump out, it's just, I feel like they get rich.
I don't know. It's crazy to me.
My personal opinion. Scumbags.
It's just funny to me, though. Biden did not speak on 9/11 the day before? Oh, okay. Yeah. Imagine your whole identity being how you lick DT ballsack like he gives two fucks about you, fucking bootlicker. I don't think that guy knows who he's talking to. Mm-mm. I think he probably just came in this chat thinking that, like, we're diehard Trump loyalists. But he just you're so edgy. You're so edgy. Like, you're so edgy, bro.
Nailed it.
I mean, we're actually in agreement with you.
Look, I want to see higher taxes. Okay, I want my taxes through the roof.
You're so edgy, bro.
More
you're
government
so edgy.
overreach.
What the fuck? I'm actually in agreement with you. I think there's a lot of people that suck Trump's dick. I 100% agree with you. But I also think that you're coming at the wrong dude, man. Like, and I know why, because I used to be a diehard Trump supporter. I did. But then it's not that I don't like Trump. It's that there's some things I agree with and some things I don't. So, and I think that's how everybody should be. You don't have to restrict yourself just to one side. There are things I agree with that Democrats get right, I think, and then there's some things that I think the GOP gets right.
What are they? What are the things that
I mean, in regards
not to put you on the spot?
What, you son of a
name
bitch.
One.
No, I think like homosexual rights, which I think the GOP is. No. Let me finish. They spearheaded that, and then the GOP adapted. And then transgender rights, I think the GOP is adapting and accepting of that as well. But it was spearheaded by, I think, a lot of liberals. I agree with some of those talking points.
I think it's more classical liberal stuff. I mean, I've always been.
I don't know about that.
Kind of middle of the road, my entire life. Like, it's like gay stuff doesn't matter to me. Like, I don't care about that. The only thing I want is less government, lower taxes, and leave me alone.
Yeah, I agree.
That's it.
But what blows my mind is how the GOP is the exact opposite. Like a lot of these new age movements.
I think you're seeing a transition into more of a reformed GOP party. Because once you get rid of the Mitch McConnells and the Lindsey Grahams and Mitt Romneys.
And I never thought I'd hear myself say this, but once the millennials take over, I think there's going to be a change for the better.
Even
and
Gen Xers.
Yes, thank you. Gen
Xers are coming up, and it's more of like the kind of like Austin Peterson.
Yeah.
But he's not a Gen Xer, though. I think he's a millennial, right?
I think he is. I think he's a millennial, yeah. He's a little bit older. I'm like right on the cusp of being a Gen Xer. I'm like 1 year away from it. Yeah. So I was unfortunately classified millennial. Stop.
Gen Xer.
Stop.
Right here.
You fucking Gen Xers. A hospital in upstate New York is pausing deliveries of babies because the number of maternity unit employees' resignations over the state of COVID-19 vaccination requirements, health officials say. This is how it starts right here, ladies and gentlemen. You talk about fighting back. Individually, you can't. United, you can. Now, please don't get me wrong. I don't want anybody to suffer at the hands of the medical field. Like, I think it's a horrible thing. But to prevent the spread of these forced vaccine policies, you've got to unite and you've got to walk out. You've got to walk out. You really do. And this is how it starts. So then these companies get to say, well, here's the thing. And, a lot of Democrats don't realize, well, they can just replace it and hire somebody else. There's a lot of specialty trained jobs that you can't just do that. You can't just walk into this job like without having the specific proper training. It's going to cripple these people. In order to stay open, to continue making money, they're going to have to revisit this idea of like, maybe we can compromise and just do tests. We're going to see it. I think it's going to happen. But I think the Biden administration's push to make this like a federal vaccine, it ain't going to happen. I really don't think it's going to happen. It pisses me off. It really does piss me off.
Do you think they're just trying to get a rile out of everybody?
A rile for what purpose?
A rise.
A rise for what?
I don't know, just to be assholes. Because
Nah,
you had
there's always an intent. There's always a reason.
Nutsacky over there.
Jen Psaki. I hate her. I really hate her. I think she's
what's that guy's name? Peter Ducey was like, so
she's such an idiot.
So people crossing the border don't have to get the vaccine. That's not mandatory.
You are correct. And then moves right on to the next
one.
one. Like, you are correct. Boom. Won't even address it. It's kind of like, do you not see the hypocrisy? Yeah. So for those that don't know, like, explain this policy, Josh, because I don't think people know what you're talking about.
The policy of being able just to walk across the border without any
This
sort
is real.
of...
This is real. Yes.
You don't have to show any sort of...
proof of vaccine.
Proof of vaccine or identification or... asylum or anything, and you just tell them what state you want to go to, and they'll just ship you off to that state.
Boom.
Oh,
boom. Oh,
that's okay.
Yeah, it's perfectly. But Americans,
by the way, we need $3.5 trillion to give these people like $65,000 each, so they could reestablish themselves here in this country, and probably vote Democrat.
It's nuts. This is nuts. I can't believe it. And so when the reporter asked her this question, she didn't even elaborate. She goes, "That's correct," and then moved on to somebody else. Like, I'm not going to acknowledge the hypocrisy of this administration that I have to be the mouthpiece for because I really don't like my job right now. So we're just going to move on and go to something else.
Yeah, they don't even care. She's like, "What are you going to do about it?"
Exactly.
What are you going to do about it, Peter?
Exactly. That's, oh my God.
You're not going to do anything. We're going to move on to the next question.
When the people start rebelling, though, and like, I love the fact that Biden is sparring with DeSantis, and DeSantis ain't backing down.
Yeah,
he ain't backing down.
Not once. He shouldn't.
Fuck no. And then like Biden has the audacity to sit there and say that if you get in my way, I'm just going to remove you with my power. It's like, you don't have that power. Like, that's how the Civil War started. Yeah. Like, regardless of the slavery being at the nucleus of it, you want to talk about state versus federal. That's it right there. If a state says, we ain't doing that, and the president's like, I'm going to make you when I eat the strawberry ice cream. Bro, it ain't gonna happen. And then again, when you have these Texans calling for secession of Texas, like no, and that's what pisses me off. Like when Prather said that, it's like DeSantis sent us troops to secure our border, and you just want to take our ball. Like, no, absolutely, I disagree with that. I think there's just a lot of people out there saying things just to rile the people. Like, we should secede. Like, no, we shouldn't. That's ridiculous. That's a horrible. Like, why would you even say that? I don't know. That's ridiculous. They took our job. Oh, my God. 9/11 memorial, 20-year memorial. It was a rough day for a lot of people. It actually wasn't that bad of a day. I didn't spend a lot of time looking at it. I tried to stay off social media because that's just one of those days that, like, bro, it really hits you right in the fucking feel. And the other part is it makes you feel really old. Like, I remember I was 17. I remember where I was at. And then that moment changed the course of my life in a sense of like what I thought was going into a peacetime army was like, boy, you going somewhere else. Like, you thought you were serving in a peacetime army.
It's crazy, man.
That ain't true.
It was crazy.
But yeah, 20 years, man. 20 fucking years. Kids that, and this was actually proven, like kids that actually were not even alive on 9/11 fighting the war in the Middle East.
Yep.
Weren't even alive.
It was so eerie, too.
It's crazy.
I mean, there wasn't an airplane in the sky, especially living in Dallas. I lived right next to the airport, and to not hear anything, no airplanes at all. Yeah, it was eerie. Yeah, very eerie.
It's nuts. It's just so crazy. Like, we are 20 years after that.
20 years past that. Yeah, changed the face of America.
I'm starting to wonder. I'm starting to kind of understand how like a lot of the World War II veterans for Pearl Harbor felt, as far as like, never forget. And it's like we're getting to that point where it's like it's almost a generation has passed. Oh. And then you have kids that are fighting this war. It's nuts. It's nuts. So, I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, I remember. I'm old enough to remember when you could just walk up to the gate and greet the person that you were waiting for, like in the airport.
Oh, yeah.
You go
through. You want to talk about like a flashback?
Yeah, you'd walk through. I think the metal detectors. And that was it.
Yeah, that's man. I can't remember that. Like how easy it was.
Yeah. It's crazy. That's how old I feel right now. I remember smoking on the airplane. The back of the airplane, you could still smoke on it.
What?
That was like back in like 95, 96.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
You serious?
Mm-hmm. Me and my buddy, after we graduated from high school.
Wait, did you do this legally?
Yeah. You could.
No.
Next time you're at an airplane, look at the seats where they have the little ashtrays there. Yeah, you could use it to smoke on them on the airplanes.
Oh my God, you're right. I didn't even think about that.
Like we thought we were so cool. We were like all the way in the back of the plane. We were like going to Cancun.
You were old as fuck.
Yeah, I know. That's why I feel. Now.
I don't remember
like,
that. What year was that? Like 95?
That was like 95. Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was so small, but no, I remember flying as a kid, but I don't remember.
You don't remember smoking on airplanes?
No.
Yeah, the back of the airplane was
smoking in the back of the airplane. Like that's gonna do anything? Like the smoke isn't gonna waft forward. Oh my! It's like, I know it's cliche. It's like having a peeing section in the pool. It's like that doesn't make any sense.
I think they got rid of it shortly after 95.
Well, I would hope they did,
but
I don't remember that.
It was something else.
I thought that happened like back in the 60s and the 50s and the 40s when everybody thought like cigarette smoking was okay and it wasn't detrimental to your health.
To be fair, I think it was like Air Mexico. So that might have something to do with it.
Okay, that changes things a little bit. Like that, like, hey, senor, we don't care. We're going to Mexico. The plane might crash. We don't know. Fucking smoke it if you got it.
You could drink legally. We were like 18. We were drinking. So
oh my god,
smoking, drinking.
I don't chat. Do y'all remember this? Okay, Gorham says smoking was fully banned in 2000. That recent?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Wow. Huh. That's crazy. I don't remember that. Okay.
Got a little sidetracked there, but
yeah, it's just mind blowing. Like I don't know. I just always I can imagine like a kid that grew up post 9/11 always thinking airport travel was this strict.
Yeah,
I was like, I remember when it wasn't. Like yeah, I don't remember the smoking, but I remember it was kind of like nobody really gave a fuck.
You walk right up to the gate.
Alarm would go off, like, you're good. Come on in. It's like, who cares if you got a gun? Not a big deal.
You're fine.
And look at, I mean, if you really think about it, how many 9/11 attacks did we have as a result of that? Like zero pre 9/11.
I think there might have been like a couple.
Really?
I want to say there's
to that magnitude.
Not to that magnitude, but there was like hijackings.
Oh yeah. I don't know. That's crazy to me. George W. Bush, perfectly timed. This is again CNN politics right here, and you all know why I read from both sides of the spectrum, both sides of the aisle. So we're not being biased, whatever you want to call it. George W. Bush perfectly tied 9/11 to January 6th attack. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Like Bush really just disappointed everybody. Like he really went from like he's getting his ass kicked by the raincoat. It's like, that's our retard Bush. He's like, well, he's a retard, but he's our retard. And then it's like, dude, you're like the epitome of the war hawk, and you're sitting like you created this under false pretenses. Which, by the way, there were never any weapons of mass destruction. That's coming from a fucking veteran himself. There was never any weapons. We were lied to. Our intelligence was shit. But you want to sit there and liken or say that January 6th is akin to fucking 9/11? Like, I can think of over 3,000 reasons why that's not true. Mm-hmm. You're telling me some fat, overweight dads with signs that got really mad and were screaming MAGA was the equivalent of like 8 hijackers murdering over 3,000 people? Are you fucking retarded? Like, literally, are you retarded? Because I think you are. I really think you are. There was another tweet that I saw. Very rarely do I find myself just kind of like pearl clutching. But there are times when I read a tweet and I'm like, there's no way they wrote that. This comes from, where is this idiot? Okay, this is from Pam Keith Esquire out of Florida.
Sounds fancy.
Very fancy. And this was tweeted out. This is a real tweet. Her name on Twitter is Pam Keith FL. PamKeithFL. Pam Keith, Florida. Pam Keith Esquire. Why do people even put that? Like, nobody fucking cares anymore. That's just like you sucking your own dick.
Fancy kings and queens.
Esquire. You probably use words like protege and stuff. She tweets this out. This is a real tweet. A real fucking tweet. And she says, on 1/6/2021, 9/11/2001 ceased being the worst thing that happened to America in my lifetime. It's really weird and painful to process and say that, but it's the truth. And quite frankly, it's not even close. I would be very interested in hearing her explain the metrics in which she is measuring that. I would be very interested because for me, it's a casualty approach. Which one was worse? Casualties, usually the worst. When people are dying, it's pretty bad. Mm-hmm. Not the representation of what it could be, which is, I guarantee, what she's trying to do. But ultimately, what she is doing is a simple, simplistic democratic strategy of let's try and deflect away from what's currently going on and paint Trump in a bad light and his supporters and linking them as being domestic terrorists. That's all this is. That's all. She doesn't even really believe this. I don't even think she believes this. I don't. I think that she's just using this as a power move. A hit piece. This is ridiculous. People like her are just, they're pieces of shit. Like, they really are. Like, they really are. Pieces
of shit.
Pieces of shit human beings.
Because they don't say anything about the cities being burned down and being taken over and all that stuff.
Absolutely not.
Clearly, you're a hypocrite.
Oh my God. And then Amory King, like I love Amory, like he fucking goes after her on Twitter, and then found out that she wasn't even able to practice law in Florida, and then he posted it and she blocked him. I was like, oh, that's so awesome. That is so awesome. It just, I can't believe this stuff. I can't believe they post things like that. Like what goes through your mind is like, hey, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to compare 9/11 to January 6th. According to a casualty ratio, it was like what, 5 died on January 6th?
I don't know.
Like
I don't think it was that many.
Like it wasn't a lot.
I know the one girl that got
shot. Yeah, and then the police officer I think was killed.
Was he? I don't know. You have to go back and look at that stuff because I know some of that stuff was exaggerated because someone got hit in the head with the fire extinguisher. I think
dude
that
had
was
a heart attack. Yeah,
it was proved to be wrong. So and he it wasn't even in that same area where he passed, like he died.
Even still, we're arguing single digits compared to over 3,000. That's insanity to me. And then the damage and then the injuries as a result. Not even just, I think there was like 3,000 deaths, but there was over like 60,000 injuries from that event. I know. So to sit there and make that comparison is just, this is the Democrats. These are the Democrats. I don't know.
You jag off.
You jag off. Former President George W. Bush was entirely correct in his comments. Of course he is. This is from CNN. Of course he is. This is like fucking Clinton News Network. Marking the 20th anniversary of 9/11 Saturday, when he drew a comparison between 9/11 attackers and those who waged the January 6th act of domestic terrorism. That was the worst act of domestic terrorism I've ever seen. Not in a sense of like, oh, it's so horrible like 9/11. It's like, no, you really sucked at that. Like, you failed miserably. Like, come on. That's like trying to light somebody's like a bag of shit on fire on somebody's doorstep, and then it goes out before you like ring the doorbell. It's like, ugh. Worst fucking bag of shit ever. But it was traumatic. It was shut the fuck up. That's ridiculous. While Bush didn't mention the attack by name, it was clear that he was invoking it when he said that our nation has seen growing evidence that the dangers to our country came not only across borders, but from violence that gathers within. What I love is that he's not going to take any personal responsibility of like, you kind of caused this. Mm-hmm. Like, you set the wheels in motion for this to occur. Yeah. Like, to sit there and act so high and mighty as if you didn't have a major hand, if not the biggest hand, in creating this. Like, really? I like, it's like the Biden administration. Like, how are you just so clueless and non-self-aware of what you have created and caused, and then you shrug off all responsibility? Like, Biden has taken no responsibility for Afghanistan. None.
Talking about balls. That takes balls to do that. Like, have no.
That's just ignorance.
It's not ignorance. It's just according to them, we're all idiots. Yeah. We can't figure it out. Yeah. Like them saying that, they think we're idiots because they're lying to our faces and doing all this stuff right in front of us. Yeah. It's like, oh, okay.
And then you get these people in the comments of like saying, if Ashley was truly killed, it happened after she was taken away in the stretcher. I've seen the video. The gun was aimed at her waistline. The bleeding came from her neck long after the shot. That's actually not true. I've seen the video where she actually gets shot and you see the bleeding come from her neck. I don't know what you're talking about. They see that's the conspiracy theorism right there that needs to be fought. That's ridiculous. That I've seen the video. You see her actually. You see the guy putting his hand. You see the blood. Like, come on. Like, stop with that. That's ridiculous. You're actually not. I hate saying this, go do your research. You're actually not even doing your research. That's ridiculous. When Bush stated that both the 9/11 and domestic violent extremists wanted to defile national symbols, I instantly thought of how the January 6th attackers laid siege to our Capitol and how the 9/11 terrorists. Wow. Okay. Let's look at the principles of why both people or both groups were fighting. Terrorists, legitimate terrorists, were wanting to inflict violence on the West. Because essentially, I mean, that's the cosmetic reasoning that the press told us. Is there a deeper meaning? Probably. And that delves into 9/11 conspiracy theorism, which I'm open to hearing points on that, but it's, again, I'm not going to get into it. But the overarching point, the cosmetic point that was fed to us, Islamic terrorists, are we able to can we call them that, Obama? Can we do that? Are we good to Islamic terrorists want to come over and kill Americans, okay? That's just the basics. It probably goes way deeper, and I probably will agree with you on that. And January 6th was a bunch of people felt like they were cheated out of an election. Mm-hmm. And they wanted to go in and demonstrate in the House their dismay. Like, how can you even compare the two?
You can't.
You can't even compare the two. I'm not even saying the latter was right. It wasn't. I'm not saying the latter was right. It wasn't. But even still, the comparison is very inaccurate. And this is what Democrats do. This is what Democrats do. They make these outlandish comparisons to try and draw similarities between the two to give their party political hit points against the other side. This is ridiculous. Bush should know better. Bush is another piece of shit fucking rhino. Like, it just blows my mind. It blows my mind. And then there's a little tidbit that he wanted to talk about. Freedom, America, Patriot Act.
I know.
Like, Patriot Act. And then McConnell comes out there and, like, does Patriot Act 2.0, votes in favor. Like, come on. Come on. This is ridiculous.
That's what they're trying to do with the IRS right now, too. Weaponize the IRS.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
But, I mean, they've already done it to an extent. That's why, I mean, Lois Lerner had to take leave because of targeting, libertarian or the Tea Partiers.
And then, of course, people are talking about the Ashley Babbitt because that keeps resurfacing. And this is what pisses me off about the GOP out there. Look, stop using Ashley Babbitt as your martyr because you're wrong. You're very wrong. When we interviewed Congressman Crenshaw, people didn't seem to understand that barricade she was breaking through. That was the last barricade between them and the congressmen and women. And she was told to stop. So why is it? Let's just fucking say it. Why is it the people on the right that would tell minorities, hey, if you just obey the cop, you'll be fine?
Yeah.
But then Ashley Babbitt doesn't do it, and then you flip your script and your narrative. Like, oh my God, he shouldn't have shot her. She was unarmed. He didn't know that. He had no idea. And she's literally using violence and force to break through a barricade where a armed riot is outside, or crowd, whatever you want to call it. And that dude's saying, stop, stop, stop. But the same crowd that will sit there and tell minorities, if you would just obey the cops, they won't shoot. But then when a white veteran does it, then it changes. Then it changes. Weird. Interesting. Or maybe, by virtue of being a veteran, she knew what she was doing. She understood the law. She understood the rules. She was just a fucking rioter. Like, stop with this bullshit. Stop trying to hail these martyrs up that were literally in violation of the law. But you want to sit there and you want to use them and prop them up as your slain martyrs. Number one, because she's a veteran. That's just ridiculous. I'm sorry, but you being a veteran does not mean that you're exempt from criticisms for the stupid shit that you do. It doesn't. So if you want to sit there and raise her up, oh my God, he shouldn't have shot her. What should he have done? His job is to protect the elected leaders. And if he feels like their life is in jeopardy and someone's about to bust through that fucking gate and I can't stop, you're damn right. And he did tell her to stop. I saw the video. And the video was also shown by John Sullivan, a BLM activist. So them saying it wasn't BLM. BLM was there too. They were there, but nobody's. And then John Sullivan actually made threats against Trump's life. Nothing happened. Nothing happened to him. Why? Because he's black. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
No, there was definitely BLM and pro-Democrat activists there.
There was all types. There was all types
that
there.
probably sparked that whole situation, but you got to have enough common sense to not break into a facility and try to bum
100%.
rush.
And the other thing is, do I think this was staged? Not staged. I think the left knew what they were doing.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I think they riled up those Republicans, and they wanted them to. You see the Capitol Police opening the doors. It's like, you're telling me if you really felt like these people were in such jeopardy on the outside, you would like call for reinforcement immediately. I think this was a ploy that the left used to make the right look bad, and they fell for it. Even so Alex Jones was there saying, don't do it, don't do it, don't go inside. Like when Alex Jones, Conspiracy Theorist 101, comes out and says, don't go inside. And it's like, bro, he even knew. He knew because he was telling people, don't go in there.
Yeah.
And they didn't listen.
Just
I really think that
lambs
this was
to the slaughter.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there was enough kindling there to get some of these people who were so pissed off and upset to push him over the edge.
I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. And
I'm losing a lot of followers apparently on Twitch. They're saying, I'm out. You're not confirming my conspiracy theorism. You're not giving me my validation with my biased thinking. Therefore, I'm not going to listen to you anymore, even though I'm kind of, it's attacking my identity. That's fine. I really don't care, ladies and gentlemen. I've thought about this repeatedly. This isn't something that I just jumped on. But when you sit there and you look at this from like an unbiased perspective, it's like, look, do I agree with the outcome of the election? No, I don't. But I'm not going to sit there and go trying to like trash the very same symbols or the very same building. I mean, there's ways of doing things. But fuck me running. Like, I remember I streamed it live on Twitch. We watched the whole ordeal. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's dangerous. I mean, you're playing a dangerous game.
It's very dangerous. So when people want to sit there and say that Ashley Babbitt was completely innocent, you're fucking lying, and you know you're lying. Stop it. You're not doing yourself any good at all when you say things like that.
It's a shame that she died.
It is.
It's terrible.
But she knew what she was doing. When you're like if you really think about it, hey, I am in the Capitol building with a mob behind me, and I'm going to go break through this barricade and get into the offices of our elected. Like, are you telling me that there was no bells that were ringing, no flags going up saying, hey, this is really, really wrong, and I'm probably going to get shot for doing this? Like, this is.
I don't think that. Obviously, they didn't think that they were going to get shot.
Well, the other thing
I wouldn't
was,
think
like,
so.
she also seemed to be a little. I mean, there were also videos of her surfacing on the way driving to the protest, and she was legit like full-on fledged screaming at the camera, just showcasing so much anger. And I'm not saying she was mentally unstable. I'm saying that she was already mad. And when you get a group of people together in such a large group and you fuel them with anger, that's how the violent mob starts. And I think she was just swept up in that. And that's what I'm saying. Think for yourself. Think for yourself. That's just, I don't know. But to sit there and say that she didn't deserve it, it sucks it happened, but stop making her your martyr. It's the same as making George Floyd your martyr. Like, the dude was no saint. What happened wasn't wrong. It didn't kill him, in my opinion, but my God, she brought that on herself. And there's no refute. I saw the video. We saw the video. Like, and it wasn't like an angle thing. Literally saw it. The cops gun out. Stop. Pow. Shot her. She didn't stop. She was warned. You actually hear him say that. Mm-hmm. And she was already head first. That's how we got her in the neck. Boom. Dropped her. And people say, well, what about the cops outside not stopping her? They were equally as guilty for not doing their jobs.
It's a lot of moving parts there that led up to this happening.
Yeah,
so it
100%.
wasn't just, I don't know. Looking back now, you could probably say, I wish somebody would have made it a little bit more specific but I mean,
and it's kind of funny to me because, like, why weren't the cops doing their jobs?
Why weren't they doing their jobs?
Somebody told them to stand down because they knew. They knew. Yeah. They knew. That was all. That was. I'm not saying stage. That was like, we're putting the bait. Let the Trump supporters come.
Yeah.
Get them angry. Get them mad.
Get them angry. They're already upset.
I mean, if you really think about it, Trump played right into their hands. He played right into their hands. And I don't think Trump knew.
I don't think so either.
No, I don't think Trump knew, but he played right into their hands.
I think so.
Because they knew that protest was going to move down to the Capitol building. Happen. And Trump was like, go down, make your voices heard.
I mean, but he obviously said peaceful protest.
Yes, he did. I
think he wanted everybody just to go down there.
If you were watching on my Twitch channel, you heard it with me. You saw the speech live. Then that's the thing that pisses me off about Democrats that are trying to blame Trump. It's like, we watched and we heard the speech live. There was no rhetoric that talked about going in there and invading the Capitol building. None. It was go down there and make your voices heard. Make your voices heard peacefully. And then he's tweeting out during the event. And people still don't want to believe it. The Democrats are not going to. Congress exempt from Biden's COVID-19 vaccine mandate. Is exempt. Rules for thee, you peasants. Rules for thee. Executive order mandating COVID-19 vaccines among all federal workers does not apply to members of Congress, the federal court system, or their staffers. Biden's order Thursday mandating COVID-19 vaccinations among federal workers and contractors drops the option of regular testing and allows only some religious and disability exemptions. The order applies only to employees of the executive branch and does not apply to the legislative or judicial branches of government, the White House confirmed to Fox News. I don't even have to read any of the rest. The hypocrisy here, just, let them have cake. Let them have cake. Marie Antoinette, never proven that she said that. Let them have cake. They're starving out there. Let them eat cake. Mandates, not us. The peasantry, the peasant class. These people, oh my God. Like, this is... fucking hate these people. Oh my God, I hate them so much.
Self-proclaimed kings and queens.
Oh my God.
This is what you need to do. We're not going to do it. We're going to have the best health insurance. All right? We don't have to get the vaccine if we don't want to. And listen, Peter, we're going to let all these people across the border. We're not going to vet them or anything like that.
But all you other peasants, you're doing it.
But you guys,
you're going to do it.
You companies with 100 or more employees, for now, it's going to go down.
Yep.
You don't think that number's going to drop down to 50?
Oh, it will.
25.
It's coming. Yeah, and we're not going to enforce it.
Everybody.
I mean, even Other businesses are coming out and saying, we're not enforcing this. Not going to happen.
Hell no.
Not going to happen.
No, you guys work for us.
Mm-hmm.
We pay taxes. We produce something. The government produces jack shit.
I agree.
So
they produce headaches. They produce a lot of headaches.
That's it.
Kamala Harris questioned after announcing steps for protecting the vaccinated. Doesn't the vax do that, she says. You know what? I'm going to cover these last two stories last and turn off my YouTube channel because I don't want to get another ban on that one. It will still be streamed on the other YouTube, the other smaller YouTube channel. It will be there. But first, before we get to that, this episode is brought to you by ShellShockCBD.com, ladies and gentlemen. You can check us out. We have amazing products. This week, we're featuring the Delta 8 gummies. The Delta 8 gummies, if you don't know what Delta 8 is, it's an isomer of Delta 9. It will get you higher than eagle tits. I'm not even playing. This stuff is incredible. It is legal. It's illegal in 12 states right now because it's been banned because they don't want you to do what you want with your own body, which is bullshit. You can go out there and drink all you want, destroy your liver, but you can't pop a good gummy to get yourself a nice, relaxing time to help you just chill the fuck out. We all know that we kind of need something like that in this day and age. We've got our Delta 8 gummies. These are here, right? These are the Halo gummies. If I can actually grab them. There we go. Halo gummies right there. One bag runs you like $35 to $40. You can actually subscribe to it and save 10%, or you can subscribe for it and use code SUB, which will save you 20% for this month. This bag has 20 gummies in it. We also sell the sample packs, and the sample packs, look at that. The cats are climbing everywhere.
Jesus.
We have a jungle. We have a zoo in this office now. Don't even get me started on why. Oh my God. I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying to be positive and not bring up the X, but fuck me running.
We got some great
we got some
more Delta 8 products.
We got some great cats if you want two cats. We're giving away cats. We have some great. You can take it. You're a better sales pitch than I am.
I don't know about that, but we do have some new Delta 8 flavors coming out. So we've got pink lemonade.
Yep.
That we're gonna do a 60 count bag and a 20 count bag. So
we got really the 40 count bags coming out of the regular CBD. Yeah, we have so much stuff coming up in the future.
Blueberry coming up. And then we also have some other new CBD gummies that were coming out, 25 milligram CBD gummies, where we're doing a 30 count bag and a 60 count bag of this. These gummies are so good. They're made with the only mold in the country that can make each gummy the exact same. And we have such a great blend of
and the Delta 8 isn't sprayed on, it's infused.
It's infused, that's right.
A lot of companies spray their stuff on, ours are infused. And again, these things are so fairly priced, ladies, and that's what's made us so successful is we haven't priced our stuff to an unreasonable point. You can go in there, you can shop our page. It's very easy user interface. New websites launching very soon. We're actually going to have package deals, weekly specials, and points that you earn by being concurrent subscribers or customers that you build up reward and loyalty points where you can cash in for free product once you build up enough. Because we appreciate our customer base so much, it's kind of like, hey, this is what you get for shopping with us repeatedly. You get a free product eventually when you rack up so many different points. So we have that coming, and we just a lot of great things in the pipeline. Yeah. We're the fastest growing veteran-owned CBD company in the nation. We're doing insanely well. I was trying to liken that to Ben. We're the fastest growing. We are crushing it right now. Yeah. And other companies can't compete because they jack their prices up so damn much, and they were already addicted, and their living expenses, their overhead costs reflect their price points. We've kept ours low, and we've done insanely well.
And then these gummies coming out, the 25 milligram gummies, we got pineapple and watermelon. They're isolates, so they don't have any THC in them. So you can, if you're worried about a drug test or something like that, with those you don't have to worry.
There's been this troll in the chat. He used to be a subscriber. I guess his name is Big Money Shots. And he was going after Nikki. Nikki's a personal friend of mine. Like, I know Nikki. She's very center line. She's very level headed. She's unbiased. And I guess he didn't realize that she's a mod in the chat, and she just banned his ass. And he was like going after it. I'm like, dude, she's a mod. Like, you might not want to do that on Twitch. Like, don't piss off the mods. And she just banned him.
Boom.
So, fuck that nerd. I love that. It's like, I love it. It's like, bro, be careful with who you're arguing with on Twitch. And the mods are not ban happy. They're really not. It's just they let things fly. But when you start insulting people, like, yeah, he's TMing me talking shit, which is why I fuck him. Good for you, Nikki. Absolutely. Ban these idiots. Absolutely not. You can have dissent. You can disagree. But when you start insulting people, like in the chat, especially somebody that's in a position of authority, it's like, what did you think was going to happen? Like, yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Good news, ladies and gentlemen. Long-running hit series Cops reboot to air exclusively on Fox Nation. Fans of the hit show Cops rejoice. The 32-season documentary reality legal program that aired on Fox in March of 1989 and wrapped in 2020 on the Paramount Network, formerly Spike TV, has been greenlit to return to Fox Nation this fall. Smart for Fox.
What you gonna do?
What you gonna do? Smart for Fox. Good move. Good move. The series, which will see its revival with a season 33 this October, follows city police officers across the country, during patrol, calls for service, and other police activities. The show has also featured both state and federal agencies, including U.S. Customs, Border Protection, and the United States Marshal Service. Fox Nation, the streaming service complement to the Fox News Channel, has announced it will inherit the rights to the series after it was canceled in the wake of the George Floyd protest. Ha! Suck it, BLM. Suck it, Floyd. You lost. You didn't get to cancel it. It's back. Suck it. You don't like that? Don't watch it. I love it. Love it. Love it so much, folks. It's so good.
You don't gotta watch it.
You don't gotta watch it. If you don't like it, don't fucking watch it. You don't like what I'm saying? Don't listen. Unfollow. Whatever you gotta do. Don't really fucking care. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have to end the stream on YouTube. We are going to be live on the other YouTube channel, though. So if you're not watching on the other YouTube channel, you need to go over there now, because these next two articles, my backup account, they haven't really targeted yet. Here's the link. Go over there. The YouTube stream is live. You can check it out over there. I'm ending this main one because if we discuss COVID-related stuff, we get banned. So I'm not going to risk that on my main YouTube channel. So I'm ending the stream on YouTube, and we are live on the other page. So, all right, we got 460-something viewers on this YouTube page. Go to the new one. All right, the YouTube stream has been ended over there. That's so fucking pathetic I have to do that. It's so pathetic I have to do that. Like, they're like cracking down to that level of like trying to, it's whatever.
On the upside, we're going to be posting a lot more edgy content on Rumble.
Yeah.
So
it's coming to Rumble.
We got a pretty funny.
We still got to write that damn thing. Oh my God. Kamala Harris. It's right up here. It's right up here. Kamala Harris raised eyebrows on Sunday with her tweet urging Americans to help protect already vaccinated people in order to end the COVID. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what doesn't make sense. By vaccinating the unvaccinated, increasing our testing and masking, and protecting the vaccinated, we can end this pandemic. That's exactly what we were committing to doing, Harris tweeted. Like, you don't realize you're shooting yourself in the foot. You're trying to sound like all pro-vaccine and shit. It's like, we're trying to protect the vaccinated from the unvaccinated. Then what the fuck is the point in getting the vaccine? Like, this is so... There has been widespread confusion over vaccine rhetoric from the Biden administration as a push to protect the vaccinated has become a common talking point, despite the vaccines already providing strong protection from those who've gotten them. Harris' tweet was no exception, was met with criticisms and confusion. Protecting the vaccinated is an odd argument since the vaccinated are already, vaccinated. And the vaccine works in keeping one out of the hospital's 99.99% out of the time per data. Fox News contributor Joe Concha responded. Former Trump administration staffer Kyle Hooten asked, why do you need to protect the vaccinated? Doesn't the vax do that? Fox News contributor Kate Pavlich called Harris' message bizarre and noted that Biden administration appears to be taking credit for something the vaccine is supposed to do. Many others took to Twitter with thoughts on Harris's message. Christina Pushaw says, protecting the vaccinated, how? What does she mean by that? Joe Cunningham tweets out, if being vaccinated is not protecting the vaccinated, then what the hell is it even for? Protecting the vaccinated, that's what the vaccine is for. This is like just repetition here. It's kind of like
Samuel Jackson said, say vaccination again.
Say it again. One more fucking time. Kamala's she's not even in the know. She's just kind of like, she's just there. She was only picked because of the intersectional politics. That's all it was.
She's the same one that said she was going to take the vaccine.
Yes! People seem to forget that. Like, wow, that's crazy.
Probably not. It depends on who's president.
Exactly. I'm going to change this to meet the needs of what I feel is right.
I think Donald Trump was back there with beakers and mixing things together, making the vaccine.
We're going to inject it into the streams.
Is that what they thought was going on?
Oh, my gosh.
It depends. I don't know.
These people are so stupid. Fauci supports vaccine passports for air travel.
Really?
No way.
He also called for 8 more masks to be worn. You look like Darth Vader walking around.
You need 3 masks. You need 3. Actually, you need 8. You need 8 masks. That's what we're doing now. We're doing. It's so great. We're doing 8 masks. You can wear them on your crotch and in your butthole, so you don't get the vaccine. You don't get the COVID in your butthole. We've got all kinds of great measures going. Wear this. You gotta use a butt plug, and that way it prevents you from getting the COVID in your butt. And then we're gonna do a mouth plug and then nose plugs. I know you can't breathe, but you're also not gonna get COVID. You won't die from COVID, just
I almost
suffocation.
think that they're massive Star Wars fans where they just want everybody to look like stormtroopers walking around with like full masks.
Oh my God. Dr. Anthony Fauci. I don't even know why we call him a doctor anymore. This douchebag should be fired. Dr. Anthony Fauci now supports vaccine passports for airline travel. Of course he does. More federal oversight into private free market. Yes. What could go wrong?
Okay.
Fucking rid. During an interview with Skim This Podcast that will air this coming Thursday, Fauci said that people hoping to travel with other people should be vaccinated. Well, again, if you're vaccinated, what are you afraid of?
Or if you're wearing a mask, so masks work, then why don't they work?
Exactly.
There. That's pretty easy, right? Science.
I would support that if you want to get on a plane and travel with other people, that you should be vaccinated, Fauci said. How quickly they have changed their opinions on things. How quickly they bend the knee to the mainstream narrative because that's what they want. They want to be accepted.
The window here across the hall at the NIH Clinical Center. During the flu season, the administration of the hospital mandates that I have to get a flu vaccine. Otherwise, I won't be able to see patients the way I usually do. That has not happened ever, to my knowledge, at a national level or even at a state level. So I can see individual institutions mandating a vaccine. I don't see it on a national level, merely because of all the situations you have upon encroaching upon a person's freedom to make their own choice of their own health.
I was old enough to remember when that douchebag said that, which actually was not that long ago. But suddenly,
20 minutes ago?
It's like, yeah, well, hey, it was like 4 or 5 days. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Corn Pop was a bad dude. And he was twisting my leg hair, bouncing on my lap. Like, what the fuck? We are being led by a senile dictator. We've got Anthony Fauci, douchebag with glasses. They probably got wedgie when he was in fucking high school. So, like, I'm so over it. I'm so over this bullshit. I think most of America is getting that way, too. So, like, everybody's just done with this bullshit. It's so ridiculous. We're through with it. Yeah. People want to be left the fuck alone. Just leave me alone to live my life. I would rather take my chances with COVID. I really would.
You're seeing a lot of this, pushback around college football games here.
Yes.
You see that?
Oh, yeah. The one where they're saying, like, fuck Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Fuck Joe Biden. Like, the nation is against him. They were against him. Like, it's not even, you can't even deny it anymore.
No.
You go to these sporting events, you go to these things, and it's like, wow. Like, people are they are against this administration at a very high level.
Hate this administration.
Yeah. And then the viral video we were talking about before the show of, like, you see, I think you see the Clintons, you see the Obamas, and you see the Bidens, and there's somebody videotaping. I think they were going to a 9/11 memorial. And then the Clintons are walking by and they're like, yeah, murderers over there. I love New Yorkers when they do like fucking murderers. These guys are fucking murderers. The Biden or the Obamas walk by. Then Biden walks over and he like walks over a kid and he's like, don't sniff him. Don't sniff him.
Don't you sniff him.
Don't you sniff that fucking kid. And it's crazy to me. Like how quickly that just picked up in trends like across the nation. It was like, don't sniff him. Don't sniff that fucking kid. Don't you do it, you fucking What about Afghanistan?
Yeah.
What about and then don't you sniff them? Like, oh my God. I love New Yorkers. I love New Yorkers.
You won today, my friend.
And he's just sitting there and he's got to be like doing his best to ignore this. It's like, they're accusing me of sniffing kids.
I think they're talking to you, Jill.
Oh, fuck me, Reddit. I can't. Oh, it's so hilarious.
Is it just me or does Jill Biden kind of look like Garth from Wayne's World?
Oh my God. Like an older version? Just got to give him some stringy blonde hair?
Yeah.
Wow. Not worthy. Not worthy. I broke a hip. Oh, my God. Well, that concludes today's podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for tuning in and listening. Thank you for all the new subscribers over on Twitch. Make sure you check out the new YouTube page. And, hey, if you've enjoyed the podcast, share it with your friends. The only ads we run on here for Shell Shock CBD. So it's kind of an ad-free podcast somewhat, I guess. Kind of. I mean, it's our company. Basically.
Shell Shock
CBD. Check us out, shellshockcbd.com. Again, leave a review for the podcast. It helps us out a lot. Tell your friends. Share it. We appreciate it. You guys are fucking amazing. And thank you for giving us a voice to this wilderness that needs it. Especially with a lot of fucks. I love saying fuck. And that's why we'll never be on Fox.